Alrighty, it's been a while since I've been live. It's way easier when I'm not in the van, incidentally. Hi, hi, hi. What are you guys doing? I'm in an Airbnb right now. My van is plugged in. It's the best. It's the best. I love it when I can find an Airbnb that has laundry, water, power, so I can plug my van in. I'm sleeping in my van anyway. Like, I'm laying on the bed that I use to fold laundry, but my bed in the van is better than the one in this little Airbnb. Yeah, I'm doing the Transform Retreat this weekend. Who's coming? Is anybody that's watching coming to the Transform Retreat that I'm hosting this weekend? If you haven't signed up and you don't know what I'm talking about, the link is in my profile and you can get $200 off with the code last chance. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's the last chance to attend one of these retreats this year. So if you haven't been yet and you want to go, $200 off is a ridiculously good deal because the ticket's $297. So that means you'll get to go for $97, the whole thing. And you're getting my slides, you're getting the recording, you're getting a whole month of coaching following the retreat to make sure everything you learn sticks. Yes, I am in the United States. I'm in Oregon right now, actually. I'm doing the retreat on Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time or 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. Hi, Christina. Nice to meet you too. My house is in the direct path of the big hurricane. I have 3 houses in the direct path, but further inland, so we made it through we made it through a lot of stuff. Let's see, the house wasn't even completed yet in 2018 when Hurricane Matthew came through, and then we had 2 big ones 2 years ago, and we were fine then too. I did lose a tiny piece of my roof, but yeah, in the Orlando area, it's usually pretty good. So what are you guys doing this weekend? If you're not doing anything, and I want you to come to my retreat. Ryan, you should come to the retreat. You won't be scared after you come. A lot of it focuses on how to stop living out of fear, like how to stop making decisions based in fear. It's virtual, so it's wherever you want it to be. It's 2 entire days. So I'm doing coaching, teaching. There's a lot of material. I'm working on the slides. That's why I'm in the Airbnb now, 2 days before the retreat. Well, 3 days before the retreat, because I'm doing a lot of upgrades to my material. It's the last retreat of the year. The next one is not going to be till middle of February, so it's a perfect time to coast into the holiday season with your head on straight. I live in my van. I'm in Oregon right now, but I have property in Florida. And hopefully after tonight I still have property in Florida. I think I'll be fine. I really do. I'm in Oregon right now. I just went to Crater Lake National Park yesterday. So what questions do you guys have? I'm a certified professional coach, so if you're having some issues in your life and you want some help and you want to experience what it's like to be coached, it's Grants Pass, Ryan. I was just in Eugene a couple days ago. Yes, I am single, and I like it that way. Sasquatch just joined. Yeah, it's quite beautiful. I really enjoyed driving around Crater Lake yesterday. It's just so weird how I can go from it being in like just so cold on the coast because I was in Florence before I went to Eugene, and down here it's like, man, it's hot. Give me some more details, Babesh. What do you mean serious issues? I did 3 loads of laundry today. I defrosted my freezer with the hair dryer that the Airbnb has because I don't have one in the van. And because it was getting hard to close the drawers in my freezer, I actually broke one. I have to fix that too because I had let too much frost build up. So I did 3 loads of laundry, worked on my slides for about 2 hours, defrosted my freezer, went to the grocery store. Yeah, I feel like I got a lot of good stuff done today. Yeah, I think that's why I like it so much, Ryan, because there's the coast, there's everything, and there's great places to paddleboard too. I traded in my kayak for a paddleboard. The kayak was just too heavy. So, you still live with your wife, Bavesh? Eugene from outside. Hi there, Eugene. Um, what makes you want to stay in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, Bavesh? She could be doing you a favor, setting you free. A lot of us are programmed to want to resist relationship dissolutions and divorce and all those things because we're taught that it's terrible, but it could be the best thing ever. What we resist persists. Well, if we just walk into it and be okay with it. There's a book, so in my book club, which you can be a part of for a whole month if you come to Transform this weekend, because you get a whole month in my group coaching program free with your ticket to Transform. We're reading a book called Loving What Is, and it's all about finding peace no matter what your circumstances are. Eugene. I'm still inside now, but still, but thinking of going outside. Nice. But why do you still want to be with her? Yeah, Chris, dinosaur, maybe stoic. You could see it that way. Um, it's kind of like what's being upset about it or resisting it or trying to force somebody to want to be with us. What's it doing to us? Is it helping us? Is it helping the situation or is it making it worse? If we're just like spewing a bunch of energy towards something that just isn't supposed to be, And the goal is to be at peace. What if you just let it go? Like, detach yourself from it having to be a certain way. Because all suffering comes from being attached to it having to be a certain way. So that means, like, for example, if you're like, well, in Bhavesh's situation, if your wife doesn't want to be with you anymore and she is making it clear that that's what she wants, um, what's stopping you from just surrendering and saying, okay, this is just what it's going to be like, and accepting it radically, like just it's radical acceptance. You may have heard about that concept, just radically accepting the way things are as the way they are and not making them mean something that they don't. Like, what are you telling yourself about the fact that your wife doesn't want to be with you anymore? You know, what are you making that mean about you? What stories are you telling yourself? Like, are you telling yourself like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm a loser because I didn't, like, my marriage didn't work or whatever? Because none of that's true. None of that's true. Yes, I think it's easy living alone. I love living alone. It's the best. I left North Dakota, headed to South Carolina 5 days ago. I spent 5K on stuffed animals, filled a trailer with food and water, and this is worse than the news. Oh, you're talking about going down to where the hurricane hit? Yeah, it's insane. I think they did it for lithium. And quartz. So Bhavesh, I don't really do, like, I mean, I have some one-on-one options and stuff, but I don't do coaching for free outside of these live calls. I gotta spend my energy on my students. Am I afraid to stay alone all day long? No. Why do you think I would be afraid? I'm curious. But what do you think I would be afraid of? Like, just being alone? Do you think I would be afraid of just being alone? Hi, Vicky. Hi, Sarah. Oftentimes, when we want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with us, it comes from this belief that there's nobody else out there. We're resisting being alone. We don't want to be by ourselves because, like, society teaches us that we're not whole and complete unless we're with somebody else. I mean, just look at Disney movies. And I don't know if you even watch Disney movies where you come from, Bhavesh, but you might have something, similar, where we're just being shown pictures and images, even in TV shows. It doesn't have to be Disney, cartoons, whatever. We're being shown that that's what we should strive for. That's what we should be seeking, is partnership. And I can tell you that in the 5 years since I've been divorced, it's been 6 years since I've been separated from him, but 5 years, 5.5 years since I've been divorced, I have become so much happier and more free and vibrant, more authentically me, because I wasn't centering my life around another person. Yes, I do feel safe. Yeah, I think that too, Reki. I think they cloud seed everywhere, and they're trying to, like, affect the states that could swing the election, like Florida and North Carolina. But I think people are gonna figure that out. and already have, and they're going to do everything they can to vote regardless. No, I'm in an Airbnb right now. I'm hosting a retreat this weekend and I needed to do so much laundry. I don't like to host the retreat in the van because my Wi-Fi is less reliable in the van. So I don't think my husband was intentionally abusive. I just think people can only see you at the level they see at the level of consciousness that they see themselves. So he saw a version of me that wasn't my best self, wasn't my highest self because, he wasn't there, I guess. I'm kind of using the bed as a couch because I'm in this Airbnb and it's basically a studio. There is no couch. So, kind of like in the van where, like, when I'm not in the bed, I'm on the bed as the couch. What do you mean, what else can I do? Like, what tricks? Like, can I do tricks? Can I dance? Can I sing? I agree, Eugene. We get together to procreate. We need time alone to create. And there's so many more ways to be fruitful other than by multiplying. I actually did go on a date recently. So, why divorce? No, my husband wasn't I don't think he was intentionally abusive. I think he was just abusive out of ignorance. I gotta lock the van. I want to make sure the van is safe, and I don't think I locked the door. That's all my comings and goings. I got married really young. I was 24, barely. And where are the keys? I just found the button. Press the button. And I was on the birth control pill. So a couple of things were at play there. And one of them was when you're on the birth control pill, it changes who you're attracted to. It messes up your hormones and your pheromones. It changes who you're attracted to. And at 24, your brain's not even fully developed yet. Your brain doesn't fully develop till you're 26-ish. So there's that. He was a virgin when we got married because we were evangelical Christians, both of us. And yeah, so there was just a lot of pressure in that kind of environment to, not have any physical intimacy. I don't know if I get banned if I say the S word on here. So, before you get married. So there was just so much pressure coming from all sides in that regard to get married. And the belief was instilled in me that was like the highest aspiration as a Christian woman was to find a husband and become a wife and eventually become a mother. And I thought I would be married by 21 when I was like 14, It's the first time that I ever went to a wedding. I was 13 or 14. And it was the youth group leaders in my church, and they were both 21, getting married at 21. And so I thought, well, in 7 years, because they were 7 years older than me, then I'll be getting married. And I was late, getting married at 24, barely 24. And that's just... So we were mismatched because I stopped taking the birth control pill 2 years after we got married. And that's when I kind of started to realize, but I didn't realize at the same time. I thought something was wrong with me because I'm like, I don't really want to have sex with this guy. Like, I'm not really into him, but I thought something was wrong with me. Yes, I still do Airbnb. You mean rent my house? Yep. 2 of my Airbnbs are under renovation, though. I do not have children. The date was good. He was a nice guy. We met up in Eugene and rode our bikes around and then had lunch and then we went on a hike and then we camped. We actually camped in the woods, and went to like hot springs and stuff. Had a lot of great conversations. I just don't really feel any like attraction. It was more like, brother energy. So, but we had a good time. I would go on a trip with Trump, for sure. I would definitely not want to go with Kamala. Oh, God. She would just irritate the heck out of me. I think I could have some interesting conversations with Trump, though. I don't think it's shameful to be a virgin as a man. I'm just saying, like, he was one when we got married. I've dated some. I had a boyfriend that I say recently, it's been since May now, 5 months. I blocked him. It's been 5 months. And he lives in Tampa. So the last time we had major hurricanes, we were dating, and he had to evacuate, so he came to my house. He was there for 10 days because like the place shut down practically. So I wonder what he's doing now. I also don't wonder because I don't care. But sometimes I'm like, he's gonna have to figure his own crap out. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Blue Traveler. This is the first time I've done laundry in a non-laundromat washing machine for a while. They take so much longer, but I think they do a better job, to be honest. Some of these laundromats that I've been to is like the wash cycle is 23 minutes. I'm like, you're telling me that these clothes are going to be clean in 23 minutes? I don't buy it. So doing like a 47-minute wash cycle in a residential machine feels a lot better, even though it takes longer. Hi, Remy. I do not speak, looks like French. I don't know. I think it will be. We've been through a lot of hurricanes. I think it'll be fine. I mean, especially my larger home. My ones out by Disney, those are older. They're like wood frame houses, but I have wind mitigation insurance on them, so wind and storm insurance, so coverage, so if anything crappy happens, then yeah. Yes, I do speak some German. I used to speak a lot more fluently, but I haven't been back there since 2008. Und mir fallen die Wörter langsamer und langsamer ein. I didn't know him. No, we just met on Hinge, and I mean, I got safe vibes from him, and yeah, we had biked around the town, and then had lunch, and I found his Instagram and LinkedIn, and he has 2 daughters, and so I felt like I'd be safe with him. Hi, Nick. Nick's staying at my house right now, making sure it's safe. He lives in St. Pete on the coast, so he had to get the heck out of there. It's been the slow season for my Airbnb too. Like, the bills are not getting paid this month. I mean, I'm paying them, but the Airbnb is not covering the bills. I am. But hey, I make more than enough to cover it on the other month, so. Dankeschön, Reki. Schlaf gut. Thanks, Steve. This is my no makeup look. I mean, I have lip gloss on, but that's it. And I got my eyelashes permed, so they're kind of curly, and they're straight. What state would you retire in? Who says I'm ever retiring? Retirement is a scam. If you love what you do, you never want to stop working. And I love what I do. That was both of our ideas, Phil. I was an exchange student when I was in Germany. I was in college. So I went over there. I found out at the last minute that my classes weren't going to count for anything because they canceled the program, but I'd already made, the arrangements to go. They canceled the program at my university, not the German university, and I already decided I was going to go, and I was like, there's no way I'm not going now. So I took one class each semester that met once a week, and then I traveled pretty much the rest of the time. Danke, Birgit. Oh, retire from nomadic life. I don't know. I really love it because it doesn't feel nomadic to me. Because everywhere I go in my van, I'm home. So I don't really feel like I'm not home, But I do have some land. Thank you, Reki. That's very sweet. It's hard earned too. I have some land in Georgia that I'd like to build on at some point. So, but even then, I mean, I don't need to be there to do it. I think I just would go back temporarily and work with an architect or whatever and get the design finalized or whatever, and then go someplace else. I haven't done any of the Northeast yet. So, I drive the van, Phil. I drive it. It is the best van. I love it. I'm so pleased with how easy it was to defrost the freezer, too. I just used a hairdryer. It was awesome. Probably going to be on here for about 20 more minutes, and then I'm going to go on TikTok. I actually have more followers on TikTok, so it ends up being a little bit more of a party over there. I haven't been on live. This is the first time I've been on live in a long time. Hey, Nick, are you still on? Nick, do you want to come to my retreat this weekend? You should come. It's Saturday. At least come on Saturday. Who's been your favorite coach? Me. I am my favorite coach. I've worked with a lot of coaches, and when I was I've seen therapists, coaches, doctors, and the stuff that I teach now, I didn't learn from any coach. Not all of it anyway. I mean, a big chunk of it. Of course, I learned stuff from coaches, but the Rad Dad. I used to call my dad Rad Dad. When I was 14, I'd be like, Rad Dad. What are you working? Do you mean for what do I do for work? Bring your van to Himalaya. Is it Himalaya or Himalaya? I think it's actually Himalaya. More than a life coach, I'm a life transformation coach. I feel like a lot of life coaches just help people cope with their lives, a lot like therapists. I coach people how to completely transform it. Thank you, Vic. And I wouldn't be able to do that had I not done it for myself, right? I also think there's a lot of life coaches out there who have not transformed their own lives and they live in their mom's basement. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you really don't want to take advice from somebody whose life you don't want. Also, there's a lot of coaches out there who are just out there giving advice. The best coaches ask questions, which is why when we had Vivesh on earlier, he was telling me about his wife. My first question was, why do you want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with you? The best coaches ask questions way more than they give advice. What are you anxious about, Athu? And on the topic of anxiety, this is something that I did not know before I knew it. And this is something that a lot of therapists don't teach either because they don't know. But anxiety can actually be caused by physical reasons. So if you have like virus or pathogen that's putting stress on your body, inflaming your nervous system, you're going to feel anxiety in your body. And if you don't know that it's caused by something physical, then you're going to turn against yourself and be like, I'm so anxious and I don't know why, like, or you would come up with a reason why I'm anxious because of this, and things like OCD as well, the intrusive thoughts, that can be caused by heavy metals in the brain. Because your brain is all electrical, right? So if there's some kind of toxic metal stuck in your brain somewhere, and then say you go through something stressful and it lights their brain up, then those metals are going to interfere with the correct firing of the neurons in your brain, causing you to have wrong thoughts, anxious thoughts, intrusive thoughts. It's physical. It's not just, you got to fix your mindset, and it's not, oh, you have a chemical imbalance, it's genetic. None of that stuff's true. You can reverse every condition that they tell you you can't. Yeah, exactly. Anxiety can be caused by something like a magnesium deficiency too. That's right. I've had therapists come to my retreats and they learn something new. They're like, wow, I've never seen it put that way, and bridging the gap between the mental and emotional stuff, which is a lot of what we get in therapy, like how to reframe things and dialectic behavioral therapy and new ways of looking at things from an emotional perspective. But there's a physical component as well that is so often completely ignored because we just know so little. Like, as a populace, as even the medical profession, like they know so little about what the brain does and what affects how it functions. But our brain is what's transmitting and receiving thoughts. So if you're having like intrusive thoughts, anxious thoughts, depressed thoughts, any of those types of things, that it's an indicator that your brain doesn't have what it needs to function properly, or there's something in there that's causing it to function improperly. It's not something wrong with you as an individual, as a soul. Oh, cool. Yeah. I like the name Caitlin too. It's grown on me over the years. Why am I living in a van? Because I want to. It is the greatest form of freedom I've ever experienced. I woke up in a parking lot of this Natural Bridge recreational like forest area this morning. It was super quiet all night. Nobody bothered me. Had my Starlink set up. I can always go, like, I'm always paddleboarding someplace different, biking, hiking someplace new. It's awesome. 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., Nick. Sorry, I didn't scroll. It's 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I know you're interested in doing live retreats at some point, and me too, but I don't want to do it all by myself. So if you want to check out the content I'm doing, maybe get your juices flowing a little bit. So you're anxious about your health, scared of high blood pressure, literally everything. What's your diet like? What kind of stuff are you eating? Are you staying hydrated? Are you drinking a lot of coffee? Anxiety can be caused by absence of spirituality in our lives. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, coffee is so overrated. Like, people think, oh, it makes me feel good. It must be good for me. Nope. It ages you faster. It causes your hair to fall out or grow where you don't want it to. It totally messes with your endocrine system. It stresses out your body. And in the books that I study, this medical medium book series, he frequently talks about how caffeine acts like battery acid in your body. It like rusts out your body. It's very, very acidic. And harmful to your adrenal glands, your whole endocrine system. And people get so hooked on it because it suppresses and covers up symptoms. Fatigue being one of them, neurological fatigue, adrenal fatigue, all these things. And it makes it harder to really hear what the body has to say, like what messages it's giving you. Like if you can't function without coffee, that's a problem. It is a problem. It's not just how life is, it is a problem that is inviting you to solve it. I would highly recommend getting your hands on a copy of the Medical Medium book. I gave my copy to Nick. I keep doing that. I keep giving away my books. But I have several of them in the van, 4 of the, I think, 8 or 9 books that are in the series. Because the more you can understand about your health and these symptoms and, like, for example, what causes cancer and all these things, the more you know, right? Power of knowledge. Knowledge is power. You can know what role you play in preventing it and see how simple it actually is to basically understand enough about your body that you can create an environment that is inhospitable to these things that you are afraid of currently, right? We're often afraid of what we don't understand. You're very welcome. So green and black tea still has caffeine in it, though. So it's not the coffee that's bad, it's the caffeine in the coffee. Any good book that you read recently? Well, in my book club right now, we're reading Loving What Is, and I've read that one in the last couple of years. We're rereading it. Several of us in the club have read it, and we're rereading it. I don't drink coffee. I don't even like it. So it's not like I'm craving it and saying no, you know. I don't like it. So if you think you need caffeine, I want to challenge you on that because nobody needs something that the body doesn't make itself, right? So caffeine is kind of a shortcut. It's something that covers up the lack of energy you're experiencing. So the questions you would want to ask yourself are, am I hydrated? Do I have enough vitamins and nutrients? And when I say hydrated, it doesn't mean that you just drink a bunch of plain water all day, because if you have water that has been stripped of minerals, it's not alive anymore. It's just H2 and O. So I don't drink energy drinks. I don't need them. I don't like coffee. I don't need coffee. I don't need caffeine. When I'm really tired, if I'm really tired, I just take a nap. Oh, I see, Eugene. So you're kind of like weaning yourself off of coffee. Why are you going live? Why are you asking why I'm going live? Why not? If you guys aren't busy this weekend, so okay, why do you say you don't need them, Caitlin? Talking about caffeine. They give you energy. No, they do not. What they do is caffeine and anything caffeinated, coffee, tea, or whatever, what they do is they force your adrenal glands to release adrenaline. So you're not getting any energy from the substance. It's robbing your body of energy. It comes at a cost. So my diagnoses were, in no particular order, bipolar disorder, anxiety disorder, panic disorder, CPTSD, ADHD, ran out of fingers and I'm holding the phone, OCD. I think that's it. And I got a blood cancer diagnosis. That was in October 2019. I'm taking no medication. I have no symptoms for any of them. All I did was clean out my brain and focus on my liver because it's connected. And I did that with the medical medium information. No, this is my right hand. It is an engagement ring, kind of, but it doesn't have a diamond in it. I did buy it from like that kind of company though, Brilliant Earth. It's a platinum it's like a twist with diamond in the band, and then that's a teal sapphire. But I am not engaged. No, I'm single. And I like it that way. Not engaged yet. I won't be getting married again anytime soon, especially not like on paper. I will not be involving the government in any of my relationships ever again. I learned the hard way. No, I don't fast. I learned in the medical medium books that fasting is really taxing on your adrenal glands as well. And the reason why a lot of people who are proponents of fasting will recommend drinking black coffee is because it takes energy from your adrenal glands. It's just the adrenaline of your body starving. Like, it's just adrenaline. And that's really not good for you. Especially if you're trying to heal like conditions the way I was. I would like to visit India at some point. I love the van life. I love it. It is the best. Yeah, so if you guys aren't busy this weekend, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, I'm doing a 2-day live retreat. It's virtual. You don't have to go anywhere unless you want to. I like to check into an Airbnb, which is where I am now. In Oregon, I've been working on the slides today. I'll be working on them the next couple of days as well. It's going to be the last retreat of this year. Ashwagandha is awesome. I take that regularly. No manic episodes. Nope. I didn't take bipolar medication. I just went straight to the root cause. The thing with the medications is that they just cover up the cause. They just like they do something to your the neurons in the brain, and that's why there's so many different ones that do different things. Like, you have to experiment because the metals that cause the issue, which you can read about in the Brain Saver book in the medical medium texts. There's a book called Brain Saver, and there's a whole chapter on bipolar where he talks about how when these metals get into the emotional centers of your brain, and then you go through a stressful situation, which is exactly what was happening to me and many other people who go through bipolar, is that these metals will hold on, these foreign toxic metals, industrial metals, hold on to heat in the brain. and that causes your body to release adrenaline in order to cool it down, which results in the mania. And then when it finally does cool down, the adrenaline is gone, you go back down low again, but the metals are still there. So the next time you go through something stressful, it's heating back up and it's going back down again. It's like that's where you get the highs and lows. So it's heating and cooling due to toxic heavy metals being deposited in the emotional centers of the brain. So if you can target A, the stress, and B, the foreign material that so easily in our toxic world can get into our brains, then you can completely ameliorate the symptoms. And you don't do it with medication. You don't. And the irony is that the medications contain more metals. They do. They contain aluminum and artificial colors and preservatives. So they're, in the long run, contributing to the problem. Yeah, exactly, Eugene. Adrenaline is for getting hyper aware in stressful situations, but when we're drinking coffee all the time, when we are constantly under stress at work because we're just in we're in toxic environments, mentally, emotionally, and physically, like our body is just constantly coursing with this adrenaline, and it takes a toll on our body. It ages us faster. Do you know any other girls who are in the van life? Yep, I sure do. And one of my clients, Nicole, who found me on Instagram, she is working on getting her first van, and I'm super excited for her. So the retreat is not in Oregon. I'm in Oregon. The retreat is virtual. And if you use the coupon code LAST CHANCE, one word, LAST CHANCE, you can get $200 off, making the whole thing less than $100, which is just basically robbery. But it doesn't matter how much you pay for it for me. It matters that you're there. That's what's most important to me. Yeah, I've read a lot of the Bible, possibly even all of it at this point. I used to be an evangelical Christian, basically from the age 13 all the way through probably my mid-20s at least, but I've officially departed from Christianity, which turns out Christianity is not what Jesus came here to do. So interestingly enough, there can be metal in vapes. There is metal in hair products, things that we inhale. Like, for example, a lot of cheap dry shampoos have metal in them, aluminum. Glyphosate, so Roundup, fungicides, pesticides being sprayed. The stuff that gets sprayed into the air by airplanes that you see in the sky that contains barium, strontium, I forgot the other one, barium, strontium, industrial metals in tiny, tiny, tiny nano microscopic amounts. So I had a TBI too. That can also be healed. All of it can be healed. I had PTSD and a TBI. I shouldn't say, I've been prescribed a lot of meds, but I didn't take them. I took alprazolam. I'm trying not to get flagged, so I don't want to say the brand names. Alprazolam, Sabenzo, and amphetamine salts, Adderall for ADHD. No bueno. But I was prescribed almost a dozen different medications, and I'm on 0 today. It can be healed. You can recover, and it makes me so mad even now sometimes that when you go to see a professional, all they want to do is prescribe something. That's all they're trained to do. That's all they are trained to do is prescribe. Match your symptoms to a list in a book that they memorized or not. You don't have to memorize it because it's all there, and then you memorize what thing to prescribe, and it's all this big guessing game because they don't know what it's going to do, and you just have to come back in 6 weeks and tell them how you're feeling, and then they'll give you something else on top of it or switch it out. Meanwhile, they have no clue what it's doing to your brain. It's just a guessing game. And they don't tell you that it's recoverable. They just tell you it's genetic or that it's just a chemical imbalance and you're born with it. Well, no. It's not like that. So I highly recommend the book Brain Saver by Anthony William to get more details. Or you can listen to my podcast. There's a ton of episodes about all this stuff on my podcast, selftransformationradio.com, or it should be in my link tree too. Yeah, microplastics in the brain. There's a lot of foreign crap in our brains, and they're acting like everybody's depressed and anxious because we're having all these other issues because of genetics and whatever, just to turn our eyes away, to distract us from the real causes. It's just absurd. If you had an energy drink every morning, you would have more appetite for life. No, it will catch up to you. How do I make money on the road? I have real estate in Florida and I have a coaching practice as well, but that's very much a sandbox. I am in the red with my coaching practice. I keep giving away tickets. I'm giving away a 2-day retreat for $97. Easily worth 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 times that. People have told me that it's just as good as the Tony Robbins event, and he charges a lot more money. I think gut microbiome analysis services are basically a scam. The whole gut microbiome, it's just, they know so little. If you read the medical medium text, Liver Rescue, it's really about the liver, right? Everything that happens in the gut has to do with the liver. And it has 2,000 functions. It produces all these hormones, produces neurotransmitters. Like if your liver is not healthy, nothing is healthy in your body. How would I know what to do off my meds? Well, I don't recommend you do that. Just like cold turkey. I have a friend who's a double board certified psychiatrist. Her company is called Free Range Psychiatry. Dr. Kendra, MD. She's on here on Instagram. And you can sign up for a consultation with her. She'll help you. Energy drinks are natural drinks. They have plants and vitamins. That doesn't mean they're good for you. High concentrations of caffeine are not good for you. Just because they put vitamins in it and other plants and stuff doesn't mean that it cancels out the effects of caffeine on the body. It's like battery acid. I don't know why I can't scroll. There we go. In favor of Christianity, many of us wouldn't exist today without it. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't know what. Give me some more detail. Oh yeah, totally off the standard of care. I raised the bar on the standard of care. Mercury in foods. Do I know anyone who took mercury from foods? I know from listening to the Medical Medium podcast. He did an episode earlier this summer about seafood and how it is basically impossible to not consume mercury when consuming seafood. Any kind of seafood. There are some types that are less of a risk, but there's still going to be trace amounts of mercury in all seafood. Yeah, that's something that I have cut back on a lot, is drinking out of metal cans. Mm-hmm. Learned that from Medical Medium too. It's a source of metal. But why would I just want to drink one energy drink? Quit spelling my name wrong, Phil. It's Lin. Yes, you can get off alprazolam slowly. I wasn't taking a high dose at all, and when I stopped, I had the worst stomach pains. Apparently, it's called benzo belly. I live in Florida, but I'm currently in Oregon. Good morning from Perth, Western Australia. Cool. I was on alprazolam for a year and a half. Let's see, September 2019 to March of 2022. I guess that's 2.5 years. I can't do math. I'm not a math person. Yes, I'm single for the 50th time that I've been asked that today, and I like it that way. There's absolutely 0% chance that anybody who asks me on Instagram if I'm single is going to change that. Phil, why do you keep spelling my name Lyn? It's not Lyn, it's Lin. Your autocorrect is broken. I'm not familiar with that one. Puedo hablar un poquito español. Estuvo un año en América del Sur hace 2015, 16, 2015, 16. So, hace 8 años. Lalo. Hey, I'm buzzing and would like to know what the title means. AMA means ask me anything. Do you think fitness trackers are helpful? Well, if they help you, then yes. What do you want to get out of a fitness tracker? What is your intention in using it? I've used them before. They tend to make me feel guilty and ashamed for not getting like 10,000 steps in. So I stopped using it. Still in the van somewhere. It's a Fitbit. Yeah, my real estate should be okay. It's been okay in the past. I've got somebody staying there. Nick Therapy, he might be on still, I don't know. But he's at my house right now. Bye, Eugene. Eugene's going outside. Yes, I'm rich but live in a van. Now, of course, rich is relative. I've had plenty of people tell me, you're not rich. Rich means freedom. Rich means never having to work again unless you want to. Freedom is the new rich. So, no, I don't have like tens of millions of dollars. I have not quite gotten to 10 million. I'm at 6.7 right now. Ish. But you know what else? Wealth is in here. It's not out there. It's not something you got to go out and find. You have to bring it out of you. only reason that I have the money I have isn't because I got some kind of inheritance, isn't because I got lucky somehow. It's because I took what was in my head and got it out and served people and created value for a lot of people. I've been to Perth. All right, Lalo had to blow his nose. Thank you for letting us know, my friend. Yeah, there are different forms of rich. Like, who cares how much money you have, and who cares if you got a Rolex on your arm if the only thing it's telling you is when to go back to work, you know? Yeah, so the medical medium books, I like to call them textbooks, texts for short, are the most life changing series of books you'll ever read about your personal health and well being. You get answers in those books that you will never get from a doctor, that you will never get from a therapist, that you will never get from any kind of alternative or functional medicine practitioner, unless they are a fan themselves of these texts, of this information. It changed my life. Understanding why I was having the symptoms that I was having. Like, I'm a logical person, a very practical person, and when I first read the book and a friend of mine gave it to me, so it wasn't like I sought this information out, it tends to just come to you through somebody else. Because he's pretty well known. Like, he's on Instagram. I think he's got millions of followers on Instagram. Like, he's pretty well known, but I had never heard of him until somebody like gave me a copy of the book and I read it and it just resonated. The truth in the pages resonated. And I was like, this is why I'm having the symptoms. And he would just share play by play exactly what I've been experiencing from doctors, and I wasn't getting answers. I was only getting more questions and more symptoms and more pills and stuff. And he explained exactly why, because they don't know what they're doing. Did somebody in a van park outside your house, Bavesh? I speak some Spanish, but I'm not going to speak Spanish. Like, I'm not going to answer questions in Spanish. It's rude. Most of my followers are English speakers. That's why I don't speak in German on my lives to my German speaking friends, because most people don't speak German. Yeah, I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I am 100% sober. And that's relatively new for me because I used to be, a social drinker, or I would smoke cannabis socially, medicinally, blah, blah, blah. But I had this kind of epiphany a couple months ago where I was like, you know what? I don't like who I am when I'm doing this. I don't like the way this stuff makes me feel. And if I'm really working towards being the best version of myself, the way I am teaching others, like at my retreats and my coaching program and stuff, then these substances are working against me. These substances are working against me, and my best self is actually sober. So whenever I'm using these substances, whether I don't care if it's just a glass of wine or three with friends or alone, I never drank alone, at least not when I was mentally healthy. I have certainly drank alone before, but or I would like go buy some joints or whatever just to like have fun. It's like, what am I actually doing? These substances are not making me better, they're making me worse over time, and there's diminishing returns for their use. The longer you use them, the worse off you are. Whereas the inverse of that is even better. So the longer you are off the substances, the better you get, the better and more clear your mind gets. And I realized I hadn't given myself a fair chance. You know, there had been some kind of foreign toxic substance in my body, whether it was just beer or some kind of alcoholic beverage. And then when I turned 30, that's when I started experimenting with plant medicines. First it was CBD, and then I moved into like vaping THC and all this stuff. And it just started evolving, and I realized, like, man, these substances were just in response to the use of another substance. Like, I used cannabis to get off of alcohol, and kratom to get off of cannabis, or kratom to get off of alcohol. Like, one substance to fix the effects of the other, and it's just not getting to the root cause, which is just toxicity. So now I don't even do so my forehead moves, right? I don't do Botox anymore. I did Botox for 6 years. And that's a toxin too. It's like I wanted to be as clean and clear as possible, because it's in doing that we're creating this environment that is inhospitable to pathogens. It is inhospitable to things like cancer, autoimmune disorders. We have the power to create an environment inside our bodies and outside of our bodies where we can thrive. Yeah, Lalo, coaching from you is what I'm after. Well, you're going to be at the retreat this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. So you can go on Amazon, Chris, and just type in medical medium. And it's like it's a white cover with blue text. It says medical medium on it. Or you can try to find it at the library. Medical cannabis still has the same effects on the body. It creates adrenaline. It creates like neuron firings, and so that's why people experience euphoria, and like I tend to talk rapidly and can have like really mind-blowing conversations with people, but it comes at a cost. Like, I'm exhausted the next day because like my brain was just so lit up and so many connections are happening at once, and it's fun, but it is exhausting, and it's just not worth it. It makes you slower in the long run. Diminishing returns. I have tinnitus too, Mustang. I wear hearing aids. I have maskers in my hearing aids. I've been wearing hearing aids for about 2.5 years now. I experienced some hearing loss, high frequency hearing loss. So I'm not like, I can hear volume just fine. Like, I could take it out and I could hear people, but the voices would sound farther away, muffled, because frequencies are missing. Isn't what good though, Cyril? Sometimes when you guys leave comments, I don't remember what the context is, so I don't know what the context is of your comment unless it's like a full thing. Yes, I'm very passionate about health. Very passionate about health. Hey, something else I did. So this is day 8 or 9. Today's Wednesday. It must be day 9 of no dairy. I have not had dairy. I don't think I've had gluten for the last 9 days, and I am feeling just so on top of it. The mental clarity has been amazing. I had to reread the section in Medical Medium's Cleanse to Heal book where he talks about troublemaker foods, and he talks about how dairy really makes your digestion worse, and it clogs up your liver, and it makes it harder for your body to absorb nutrients. Yeah. And it feeds viruses. It is food for viruses. So it can contribute to things like brain fog and depression, anxiety, itching, fatigue, anything that a virus can cause. Dairy's going to make it worse. So I was like, you know what? My best self ain't eating that crap. It all comes down to, who do I really want to be? Who is my best self? And what is that person doing? What is that person eating? How is this person thinking? How is this person living their life? And does what I'm doing, eating, thinking, saying, fit into that? And it's so easy to stop doing a bad habit, or stop doing something that's harmful when you look at it from that perspective. Like when you know something's not good for you, like alcohol. It's so easy to quit when you're really invested in being the best version of you. And when you know that if you continue to do the thing that is harmful, that you're self-sabotaging. And when I saw it that way, I was like, man. And that's what got me to start losing the weight that I gained. I gained like 30 pounds. And I've lost somewhere between 10 and 12 pounds at this point. And once I realized that, like, cannabis, for example, was causing me to overeat, it was causing me to be more inactive over time because I just wasn't feeling that well. It all kind of comes from who you're being. The actions you take, the quality of your life, all stems from who you are being. And that's what we're going to be talking about this weekend at the retreat in depth. And I'm so excited about it. It's my favorite thing to talk about. Who you're being is creating your life. And if you can be the person that's going to create, that would naturally create the life that you very much desire. So for me, that's a life of freedom, flow, fun. What kind of things does that person do? What kind of thoughts does that person have? How does that person feel every day? How does that person speak to themselves? And I think about that version of me that I am on the inside, right? And you just kind of let everything that's not you, that's not that best version of you, fall away. So that means, and when you get really, the vision of that version of you gets really clear, it becomes a lot easier to let the unhelpful habits, unhelpful toxic relationships, it becomes so much easier just to be at peace with how they are and to let things go. It was so easy to stop eating dairy when I saw it the way I saw it. I was like, and knowledge truly is power. The more you know about what certain things are doing to your body and how things work, that's why I so highly recommend Medical Mediums information, because it's logical, it's irrefutable. When you follow it, you get results. It's just like, if you knew that if you follow this information that you would feel better without a doubt, why wouldn't you do it? And that's the way I felt when I first found the information. I was like, all I needed to know, is if I stopped doing these things and I started taking better care of myself and created an environment in my body and in my life that was inhospitable to these symptoms continuing to occur, that I would get results, and I did. Thank you, Lalo. Yeah, I love my hearing aids. I don't remember if I'm near or farsighted. I know I have astigmatism and I have a really light prescription. It's like 0.5, negative 0.5. I don't know what it is. But I have astigmatism. So, yeah, Lalo, no longer diabetic. That's amazing. Yeah, dairy's got to go. So the Liver Rescue book and Cleanse to Heal, but mostly Liver Rescue, talks about the real causes of diabetes, and that's what's so fascinating. That's probably one of the most fascinating things I learned from Medical Medium, because who do you know with diabetes that will say, oh, well, it's sugar, like my sugar causes diabetes. Actually, it's the amount of fat in your bloodstream that is preventing the glucose molecules from getting insulin into the cells where it belongs, because the fat is blocking the way. So that means your sugar builds up in your blood, but the fat is high. So if you reduce the fat, then the glucose can more easily get the insulin through the cell walls. Doesn't that make so much more sense than just sugar causing insulin resistance? So that's what people are doing to reverse diabetes completely, is reducing the amount of fat, increasing things like fruit, healthy sugar, improving the health of the liver, improving the health of the pancreas, right, which is what produces the insulin, and making their bodies inhospitable to this condition called diabetes. Oh man, you need to get a van. Everybody needs a van, in my opinion. It's not for everybody, I should say. It's not for everybody, but it changed my life, getting a van. I am a completely different person than I was a year ago. I'm glad I didn't go with anybody else. So yeah, you don't have to go with your ex-girlfriend. I do not eat a lot of meat, no. I have hearing aids, not implants. Phytic acid is in a lot of plants, if I'm not mistaken. Nice, Lalo. Lost 100 pounds. Yeah, I'm going for another 20, you know? Like, I'm definitely feeling lighter and I'm feeling better in my body after 10 pounds being gone, but I know there's more. So, yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think of the book, Chris. It's gonna blow your mind. And I love how it bridges the gap between the spiritual and the physical too, because it's like supernatural. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but we live in a supernatural world. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And Medical Medium gets its information from a supernatural source. I mean, to me it's not implausible. To me it makes him more credible because the information, you're not going to find that in any medical journals, you know. They're so behind the times. So is it hard to live in the van during winter? I am currently moving south, so I don't have to experience the winter as you may as you might mean it. The lowest temperatures I've been in the van when they were outside, it was like 14 degrees, and that was in Georgia in January. I don't want to be in any weather colder than that. I never want to be in the snow. How do you take baths in a Sprinter van? I don't. I have a shower. Although you guys are going to think this is gross, but I haven't showered in like 4 days. I have other ways of keeping clean though. You know, I'm going to shower tonight. There's an actual shower in this Airbnb, so it's just been too cold. Haven't wanted to, and I shouldn't say it's not. It's only because it's been too cold, but trying to conserve power. The water heater uses a lot of power, and then one night I was parked on a slant, and if I shower when my van's on a slant, then a certain kind of slant, then my water can't drain, and I don't want like standing water in the shower because it'll rot the wood of the little shower mat thing. Yay, Phil's spelling my name properly now. Okay, so my thoughts on the carnivore diet, right? knowing what I know for medical medium, and it's really interesting to learn about how the amount, like high fat and high protein, are really bad for the kidneys and liver over time. People get results in the short term with carnivore diet because they're eliminating a lot of toxins, right? They're eliminating processed foods. They're eliminating dairy. They're eliminating, I don't know if they're eating eggs, but if they are eliminating those, then they're getting rid of things that viruses eat, right? Viruses don't chow down as readily on meat as they do on things like dairy, gluten, and things in like processed food. So they're eliminating a lot of processed things, but over time, high protein, high fat is going to have negative effects on the liver and the kidneys. Lalo bought a minivan. Well, it's cool if you have a minivan, if you have kids to have a minivan. I have a sticker on the back of my van that says condoms prevent minivans. I just love the irony of it to have it on have that kind of sticker on a van. The Untethered Soul. I've actually got that book on my iPad. It's the digital version. I did read that. I need to reread it though. I remember it being really good. It's been like 4 years. So I'm not doing a van tour tonight, but maybe at some point. There's got to be a video somewhere though. Who are you? Well, you can Google me if you really want to know, or watch some of my videos. Yeah, I found it. It's actually a magnet, but it looks like a bumper sticker. I wonder why car magnets, like small ones, aren't more popular because that thing is durable. It was $5, so it's cheaper than some of these stickers. You can move it wherever you want. So whenever I got my bike rack, I moved my bumper magnet because you couldn't see it anymore when I put the bike rack on. So, you guys want to know what I put in my water? I put silica and horsetail. It's a supplement that I buy on Amazon. It's recommended by Medical Medium. It's called Organo. I'm going to put it in the comments. Organo. Oh, it auto-corrected. Siliplant. So it's basically liquid silica, but it also has horsetail in it. I think some biotin, and that's how I have so much hair, even though it's turning gray from using hair color. I have a lot of hair, and it's extremely thick, and it's because I take care of my body. I don't love CBD oil. I think that's a fad. I don't remember exactly what Medical Medium says about CBD oil, but it doesn't get to the root cause of any of the issues that it claims to treat, so I'm not a fan. Hey, it's Christina. You're up late. What else is in my water? I take Atlantic Dulce. I put half a lime. Atlantic Dulce, which is a liquid seaweed extract. And I'm gonna put the brand in parentheses because you don't want to put like Dulce flakes. So seaweed extract, horsetail with silica, and trace minerals. I put some trace minerals, so there's like magnesium and stuff. And then filtered water. You want to get your you want to get the fluoride out of your water. You do not want fluoride in your water because it is an aluminum byproduct. It is toxic to the brain. It is not good. So filter your water and your ice. So Christina lives in Sanford and she is in the path of the storm too. What's it like there? Is horsetail a tea? I don't know. I just know it's in my silica and I put a tablespoon in my water every day. Okay, good. I guess it's like the storm has it even hit landfall yet? Or has it made landfall yet in Tampa? I guess they said it's going south of Tampa now. I can't even keep up with it. Yeah, and they make really inexpensive countertop water filters to get the fluoride out of your water too. You can find them on Amazon. I have one in my van. So that's not to say that there's like people are like, oh, it's beneficial for your teeth, but you don't need to drink that shit to like get the benefits if there even are any, right? It is toxic to the brain to consume fluoride. It is. Period. I get all fired up about us. I've been giving sermons. Christina likes to I gave a sermon and I laughed. I was like, that was on the coaching call on Monday. I was like, I just get all fired up and I gotta say the things. Yeah, my teeth have gotten better since I stopped seeing dentists. Ski, Hauptsache Hamburg. All right, you guys, I've been on a little bit longer than I intended to be. I'm gonna go over to TikTok and do another Ask Me Anything. So if you're on TikTok and you follow the Kate Awakening on TikTok, then we can continue this conversation. Um, but I want to give those people an opportunity to ask me anything as well. So if you want to continue the party, that's where I'll be. If not, I hope to see you this weekend at Transform. The information for the retreat is in my bio. It's on my link tree. If you use the coupon code last chance, because this is your last chance to do the retreat this year, it'll save you $200 on the ticket, making it only $97 for the entire weekend. It's a virtual retreat, 2 full days of coaching and training by me, a certified professional coach, and somebody who's been there. I've been through a lot of stuff in my young life, my 37 years, and I'm doing things that my younger self never dreamed to be doing. So if you're wanting to make an exit from the life that you're currently in some way, your job, your marriage, or any type of relationship, symptoms you're experiencing, anxiety, things like that, I've been there and I have advice for you. I have things to teach you that will absolutely have your jaw on the floor. And if by the end of the retreat you don't agree with me, you think it sucked, I will give you your money back. That's never happened. Nobody's ever done that. Because I do deliver on what I promise. I deliver more than what I promise. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Again, the code is, I'll put in the chat, last chance. And you're going to put that in on step 2 of your registration to get $200 off. I'll see you guys on TikTok. Bye.